June 5th, 2020. This is the jump.
The LZ set up. There's a quick spin around. There's the wind blowing.
22 hours ago.
There.
You see that right there? See that tree? And it's like well, it looks like a surfboard, but it's the landing zone for L and X. It almost looks like that tree's holding it up.
This is not the primary LZ. This is the spot.
It's not the primary LZ. Still haven't figured out what. Oh, landing zone. Oh, okay. I just figured that out. This isn't the primary landing zone.
Once I'm over the top, we'll see what happens. We'll see. So there we go.
And then that's to play it off like it ain't holding it up.
It's Gennady Springs behind me. Little Oasis on my door post when I walk in the door. It says 1937. Pretty amazing.
That was July 3rd. July 3rd.
All this super significant stuff. Alright, this is the day. This is it. I watched the sunrise this morning.
5:55.
It's so supernatural, I just don't even have words, guys. Alright, this is the day. This is it.
So there's your Psalms. Here's your Psalms. It's a timeline.
This is it. I watched the sunrise this morning. It's so supernatural, I just don't even have words, guys. I just don't. The people, all this super significant stuff. Alright, this is the day. This is it. I watched the sunrise this morning. It's so supernatural, I just don't even have words, guys. I just don't. The people that came and helped me set up, a young man named Hartzell. He's about 12 years old.
That would be Christ.
Him and his dad.
That would be the Father.
And his mom came.
That would be Mary.
We wrote this out. Hartzell, Hartsel, I think. On directionals. The jump is at approximately 7 o'clock. 7:15 to 7:30. 7:15 to 7:30. I'll be at altitude, and this is my LZ right here, and there it is, Psalm 46. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. And I just don't know. I'm just doing what I've been told to do. So I'll do this one little video, the last little video. Saw from the dead son of the X. Bam. I'm on it. There it is. I'm here as instructed. The girl that was here, Izzy, she said, you know, Jonathan, I had this. I met myself in the dead center of the X. Damn. I'm on it. There it is. I'm here as instructed. The girl that was here, Izzy, she said, you know, Jonathan, I had this feeling that a while back we were coming here and out of nowhere came this storm that just rocked. She said that her car was being picked up and set back down on the ground
Earthquake.
from a storm here in the mountains that came out of nowhere. I was just like,
It sounds like an earthquake.
and she's telling me this right now. Anyway, the next video will be from the So here it is. So as I was walking, I heard the Lord say, "Look down," and I looked down, and I put these back down, but I looked down and I saw these two rocks.
Man, that's by circumstance?
I looked down. I mean, I heard the Lord say, "Look down," and I looked down and I heard the Lord say, "Pick up these two rocks," and I picked them up, and this is unbelievable. I mean, you gotta be kidding me.
Man, the two, they became one.
Two rocks out of all these rocks. They were split. This rock was two separate rocks sitting on the ground in a riverbed with trillions of rocks. And I heard the Lord say, "Look down." In my spirit, and then I saw these, and I heard the Lord say, "Pick up those two rocks."
3. Jump before the jump. Right before the jump. Look, Johnny, I don't know if you thought for a second that if I found this out that I wouldn't share it. Because I know somebody's showing things of yours that they shouldn't be showing. But when I show something, unless I'm told directly by my father not to, then I'm going to. So whatever it is that I'm showing, I'm just going to keep showing until I can't. And then there becomes a point where there's no more denying, there's no more hiding, there's no more pretending. There's no more lying, like there's no more guilt feeling of trying to conceal the truth.
This portion of As the World Turns has been brought to you by...
All right, guys. I'm alive. It's a little anticlimactic. It's like,
Anticlimactic definition.
According to Wiktionary, adjective, anticlimactic, lacking climax, disappointing or ironically insignificant following of impressive foreshadowing.
Yeah. After all the build-up, the ending of the story was an anticlimactic letdown. But here's the thing. The story's not over.
if it's working. The signal out here, once you leave where I'm at, there's no signal. You can't get through to anything. So that...
John, is everything okay?
Not sure, I don't know.
What is it?
I'm going away for a few days, but I'll be back. Please don't worry about me. This is something I must do. Done.
Don, change of clothes.
That's why the YouTube thing cut out yesterday, and it just kept buffering because I was trying to YouTube live it, and then keep it going, but once the plane took off and all that stuff, the signal got lost. And after the signal got lost, I just turned everything off and concentrated on the skydive. Once the plane took off and all that stuff, the signal got lost. And after the signal got lost, I just turned everything off and
Where has it gone?
concentrated on the skydive. Anyway, so guys, yeah, how fascinating. So I'm talking to Corey and Kat, and just I was telling them, you know, it's really fascinating because now, then before I say this, I want to be very clear. After the signal got lost, a vision come to me. Jesus said, "I've come to give sight to the blind," because we're a bunch of vampires. My girlfriend was Eleuthera. That means licentious freedom.
So whoever your girlfriend is, it just represents a relationship with the spirit that is changing from going from licentious freedom to the next actual freedom.
If you go read Romans 8,
That would be Penn Center, Building 8, 17th JFK.
if you go read Romans 8, that sons of God are given the glorious liberty, or you'll have the glorious liberty of the sons of God. The word is Eleuthera, the word liberty in the Bible. It means licentious or legitimate freedom. So anyway, all the stuff over my shoulder, everything I've done now in my life, I can look over my shoulder now. The fall from grace, falling out of the sky with fangs on into a vampiric system, and then when I got to go sky surf with the space shuttle, Discovery, I look like I'm crucified in the sky, and that was the point of the Lord drawing me. And then when I discovered Christ and the Lord gave me the vision, He's come to restore the sight to the blind, and so everything about my life was a manifestation of what actually is. And it's kind of hard to believe and understand all that. But in the middle of the desert, and had me set up a red X, a big LZ, a big blue tarp with a big red X as my landing zone, in the middle of a desert that has a stream that is dried out. That is so spiritually mind-blowing that no one could even think this up. Now, remember this, when I rang the bell back there in San Antonio, the Lord told me this will ring back to the Garden of Eden. Well, the resurrection is from the Garden of Eden till the end. But, you know, it's the Lord's way of communicating within this system that we call the earth and the, humanity. He's communicating the information by literally letting me kind of work it out and see it all, because, just like vampire sunglasses, I have a vision company for vampires. I mean, think about it. The whole thing is just truly a manifestation of what is, and I can assure you this: the end is definitely coming. And I wouldn't be surprised, if. And I don't like saying stuff like this because everybody, Plexer is coming. No, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, any second. I'm never going to pick a day, but I fulfilled what needed to be fulfilled, if y'all understand what that means. I came out to the desert. I skydived into a little Garden of Eden setting, 1937 of...
A little Garden of Eden setting. See that building there? This is the one that has the W on there. Up top. Big old W. And I don't understand. I mean, I know it's all design, but it's pretty cool because it almost looks like two buildings with the mirror reflection of the William Penn building right there.
Every number was written only on my building where you step into the building. The building I'm in was split into two. They put big brackets on it and they pulled the whole building back together, and they set it on a rock foundation because we're on the rock. When I was walking down to check my LZ, I looked down and lo and behold, out of hundreds of trillions of rocks, the Lord had me look down and say, pick up those two black rocks. And I'm like, put them together, and I went like this. And it was like someone took a diamond blade saw and cut straight through a flat rock. And it was a mirror reflection of itself. A rock in a creek bed where I'm gonna land. It's just not even comprehensible. So, I know that the end is imminent. It could be any moment now. But I know that what I had to do was to fulfill this outward manifestation and do what he said. The Lord had me look down and say, pick up those 2 black rocks. And I picked up those 2 rocks, and the Lord told me, put them together. And I'm like, put them together, and I went like this. And it was like someone took a diamond blade saw and cut straight through a flat rock. And it was a mirror reflection of itself. A rock in a creek bed where I'm gonna land.
I gotta get pictures of that.
Who was King Herod and Pilate?
Here's a summary from Quora. Pontius Pilate was the prefect of the Roman province of Judea. Herod was the tetrarch of Galilee and Perea. It seems they shared an uneasy coexistence.
Video. We are in the middle of doing a studio move and equipment, and
I have a little video. I have other video back in Chinati, but now I'm off to parts unknown. I mean, I'm not sure where this is leading. I don't know, to be honest. I'm just waiting on the Lord now. So what I'm going to do is I have a little video that the pilot sent me, and I'm going to send it to Corey.
Why did Pilate send Jesus to Herod?
According to Wikipedia, in the Gospel of Luke, after the Sanhedrin trial of Jesus, the Jewish elders asked Pontius Pilate to judge and condemn Jesus in 23-2, accusing Jesus of making false claims of being a king.
Oh, I see. So since Herod already happened, he already just so happened to be in Jerusalem at that time, and Pilate decided to send Jesus back to Herod to be tried. Why was Pilate and Herod enemies?
Here's a summary from Tired of Ramen, WordPress.com. Most Jews hated Rome and saw them as the great oppressor they thought the Messiah would come and save them from. Herod hated Pilate because he was the image of Rome upon him, the man who kept him in check.
So Christ a peacemaker. Herod and Pilate became friends because... So Jesus makes friends out of enemies. I had never caught this part of the gospel. And Herod with his soldiers... Oh, I see. So Herod... He's just going to send them back to Pilate, because Pilate sent him to Herod. I get it now. Herod and his soldiers treated him with contempt and mocked him. Then, arraying him in splendor clothing, he sent him back to Pilate, and Herod and Pilate became friends with each other. That very day, right there, that same day, for before this, they had been enemies with each other. That's crazy. What did Christ do that made these two become friends? Pontius Pilate served as the prefect of Judea from 26 to 36 AD. He convicted Jesus of treason and declared that Jesus thought himself to be King of Jews and had him crucified. Pilate died 39 AD. The cause of his death remains a mystery.
This has been an amazing blessing that has really transfigured where we were going, but it was also part of what needed to happen.
King Herod ruled Judea from 37 BC. The Bible says he initiated a murder of all the infants in Bethlehem in an attempt to get rid of baby Jesus. So he's the one that ordered to kill the children 2 years and under, which is the 144,000. And then Pilate gave Jesus over to King Herod, which also ties into Judas betraying Jesus and handing him over. It's a symbol. It symbolizes it. But which Roman Empire killed Jesus? Pontius Pilate. So Pontius Pilate's the one that does the execution of silencing the mouth of Christ. Pontius Pilate, Latin in full. Marcus Pontius Pilate died Thursday, Roman perfect governor Judea under the empires Tiberius, who presided at the trial of Jesus and gave the order for his crucifixion. Did you know? So what did Jesus say to Herod? Herod Antipas, the same man who had previously ordered the death of John the Baptist, had wanted to see Jesus for a long time, hoping to observe one of the miracles of Jesus. However, Jesus says nothing in response to Herod's question or vehement accusations of the chief priests and scribes.
Now I'm off to parts unknown. I mean, I'm not sure where this is leading. I don't know, to be honest. I'm just waiting on the Lord now. So what I'm going to do is I have a little video that the pilot sent me, and I'm going to send it to Corey.
Does anybody remember back when Johnny said he was going to be doing a bunch of live stream videos testing it? But that was when he was ringing the bell. When you understand how they talk and they explain things previously about the future, Johnny told everybody, don't get all, crazy if you start seeing him doing a bunch of little short live clipped videos of him ringing the bell. This is the actual ringing of the bell, but he always has to do everything literally first so he can manifest it. That way, when he does talk about it, he actually did it. But the meaning of it is really the actual truth.
And just be willing. I'm willing.
Two.
The Lord chose me because He knows I'm willing.
3.
Hang on one sec.
Willie.
Hey, what's up? Anyway, yeah, the landing was interesting. It was almost catastrophic, but it turned out pretty good.
Almost, huh?
Almost at the top.
Almost.
Let's see. Try and end this thing correctly. Good day to everybody. Johnny, your servant is diligently putting myself out there for what the Lord wants me to do. I don't know how much this stream is going to continue, but I'm leaving the Presidio Airport right now. And I'm going to grab a little something to eat, and then I'm going to pray, and then start loading up all my gear, and then
I don't understand. Why would he just leave like that?
He's been under a lot of pressure here. I can understand why he'd want to go wait for a few days. And he does say he'll be back.
And I see that.
pray, and then start loading up all my gear, and then check back in as...
I don't understand. Why would he just leave like that?
He's been under a lot of pressure here. I can understand why he'd want to go wait for a few days. And he does say he'll be back.
And I see that. He says he's going away for a few days and then he'll be back, but he doesn't say when.
And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
But the William Penn building is, the explosions is on the back of a the front and back of a $10 bill, because the sun is right there. It's showing you the time. It's showing you the time that the sun rises up in the morning. So right around on the 8th day of the 7th month of 2020, the sun's going to rise around 5:45 a.m.
They were exactly the same rock, split in half, and they were no thicker than a 50-cent piece. Think about that. That's insane. That's just like, I just can't even wrap my brain around.
$50 bill
So yeah.
shows you the bombing.
So anyway, that's him saying he's putting the two back. I'll probably like cut the stream off here in just a minute. But it's really amazing down here, guys. This desert terrain it is so unforgiving. It is just unbelievable. Sounds like my car's gonna blow up here in a minute. That's it. That stuff. The signal got lost, and after the signal got lost, I just turned everything off and concentrated on the skydive.
When the signal gets lost, on that day, you're just going to have to concentrate and remember
$1937 of every number was written only on my building where you step into the building. The building I'm in was split into two. They put big brackets on it and they pulled the whole building back together and they set it on a rock foundation because we're on the rock. When I was walking down to check my LZ, I looked down and lo and behold, out of hundreds of trillions of rocks, the Lord had me look down and say, pick up those two black rocks. Mind-blowing that no one could even think this up. Now, remember this, when I rang the bell back there in San Antonio,
he was saying, don't freak out if I make a bunch of YouTube live videos. He was talking about now.
The Lord told me this will ring back to the Garden of Eden. Well, the resurrection is from the Garden of Eden till the end.
So the Garden of Eden is coming up, which is the resurrection. And then the end, well, blessed is he who waits to the 1,335th day.
The Lord told me this will ring back to the Garden of Eden. Well, the resurrection is from the Garden of Eden till the end. And here I am in a little representation of like the Garden of Eden, where it's this little oasis in the middle of the desert.